The I-5AF, una organización política revolucionaria. In extreme circumstances, like uprisings and climate disasters, there's always a need for somewhere to collaborate with others and decide what to do next. But this need doesn't disappear when things calm back down, and quote unquote normal life under capitalism attempts to pull everything back into its domain. The successful longevity of the revolutionary movement requires specific kinds of tactical stations, and the most militant orgs need to know where to find them. For the revolutionary politics of the I-5AF, tactical stations are absolutely essential. This is our reason for organizing as a specific anarchist organization. We think that our everyday struggles could benefit from the maintenance and defense of these stations. But this strategy doesn't only organize our engagements in specific places, it also informs our actions in the class struggle more broadly. Specifically, we aim our efforts at the transit, renting, and labor fronts, fighting against exploitation and domination and toward social transformation. As an organization, we recognize the specificity of all the different stations and sites in the struggle, and we depend on militant ethics and strategy to help us make sense of our multiple activities and their particular demands. For example, in our struggle around housing, it might at some point make sense to combine efforts for self-education with the most agitated residents of an apartment complex. Likewise, aid stations at specific points of struggle might, on a temporary or permanent basis, serve as sites for recovery and consistent support. Some stations might have a training, regrouping, and preparation function, serving as places for militant formation, or as educational resources for radicalizing people. Since none of these activities can realistically reach all of society on their own, strategy helps us monitor and sustain our capacity, as well as focus our efforts, ensuring that they have the greatest impact possible. Our final objective is a new society, managed by the people themselves. This new society cannot be created through constitutional decree or savvy lawmakers. No single group or charismatic individual can lead us to social revolution. The popular power that we need can only be developed through our collective efforts in the struggles already occurring in society. This is why we consider community assemblies, unions, and other tactical forms as tools. As an organization, we want to be ready and willing to put a lot of work into stations for various durations of time, and still be able to change tact when necessary. We don't want to be dogmatically tied to one particular form of direct action. In addition to tactical stations, mass movement is another fundamental factor in our conception of revolutionary rupture and social transformation. This is why we organize around I-5. It's not a nationalistic or patriotic symbol. It's an actual site of domination and exploitation, literally a concrete place that transcends municipal and state boundaries. Obviously, the interstate highway reproduces capitalism, but it isn't usually factored into revolutionary strategy. Food deserts, climate change, inconsistent work, and impermanent housing force us to mobilize around this infrastructure. It's our lack of choice to use I-5 for our everyday needs that binds us together as oppressed users of the highway and provides the basis for revolutionary organizing. Even for people who live hundreds of miles away from it, I-5 is a practical commonality of life, linking cities to towns and rural areas through an undeniable necessity. In both our particular locale and the wider region, this one piece of infrastructure materially connects people, places, and things. So for us, it is regional, but not territorial, since it does not outline a specific boundary, but rather highlights the most massive forms of connectivity in society. It is through this connection in mass movement that we aim to organize our political efforts. The I-5AF insists on the dynamic presence of an anarchist political line in this social space. We refuse to passively relinquish all political influence to capitalist interests and the state. Currently, in North America, there's a general shortage of anarchist militants. We understand our own political project as the revolutionary militancy of a small minority within a pluralistic society. We aim through our political militancy to make varying levels of participation as distinct as possible, enabling people to make informed decisions about their own political commitments. So, we intend to regularly inform our supporters of actions and invite them to participate.